Hey guys, Kyron Crocker, aka the Ultimate Nerd 224, and in celebration of Captain America Civil War being released in like 8 days, almost a week from now, I've decided to review the original Civil War comic, which was released in 2006. Now I'll be going into full-on detail with this comic, so if you have not read this comic and don't want to know anything until you actually read it, then leave this review right now. Okay, so here's how it works. So the beginning of the comic, it doesn't open up with Iron Man or Captain America or Spider-Man or anything like that. It instead opens up with this team called the Justice Four, and they're very young people, and they don't know how superheroing is, like how serious it is. They decide to make their own reality show based on it. And they try to stop an evil villain, but this villain ends up blowing himself up beside an elementary school, and he ends up killing not only himself and the Justice Four, but he kills a bunch of kids in that school. And it's very controversial. It causes this big disruptive thing going on. The superheroes do their part to help clean up the school, but Tony Stark goes to a boy's funeral at one point during the comic, and a woman spits in Tony Stark's face because he's Iron Man and says, "Because of you people, my boy is dead. Why would you do this?" And Johnny Storm, the Human Torch, goes to a nightclub one night, and he gets a bottle smashed to his head, and he has a concussion and has to go to the hospital. So all the heroes that everybody used to love are being treated like dirt now, all because this whole catastrophe happened. And the government is trying to find a way people can trust these heroes, and they decided that each hero needs to be registered, and they should not be vigilantes. Everybody has to be registered. They need to know whether or not they can be trusted. So Tony Stark thinks this is a good idea because people don't have to be hiding who they are anymore, but there are a few heroes who disagree, like Daredevil or Luke Cage. They don't want to do this. They want to go out and be vigilantes. Now, Captain America is hired by Maria Hill to arrest any superhero who doesn't turn themselves in, but Captain America refuses, and that's when he ditches S.H.I.E.L.D. and goes off and does his own crap. All the heroes who don't reveal their identities are being arrested and brought into a facility, but there are some heroes who are hiding from the government, and they join Captain America, and they become the Secret Avengers, which is a team of Avengers who are don't want to refuse to give away their identity. Now, Tony Stark, the Yellow Jacket, and Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, they all decide to try and stop this from turning into a catastrophe. So, Tony Stark, he holds this press conference, a live press conference in front of New York City, and he gets old Spider-Man to come in and give away his secret identity. So Spider-Man pulls off the mask, and he says, "My name is Peter Parker, and I've been Spider-Man since I was 16 years old." It's a big, shocking moment, really, when Spider-Man reveals his identity to the public. It's just so huge. But when Captain America sees this, it doesn't change his mind, so he still wants to go off and be a vigilante. So Iron Man decides to have a little meeting between both groups. There's a group Iron Man is leading of people who do give away their identities, and there's a group Captain America is leading, which is a group of people who don't. So Steve Rogers and Iron Man, they both meet, and they make an agreement. They shake hands, but it's revealed that Captain America actually implanted this little device on Tony Stark's hand that disabled the Iron Man suit, and then that's when all heroes just go head to head. There's punching and stuff like that. They're going all crazy. And then Thor comes down, but it's not the Thor we all know and love. This is a different Thor. This is an evil robot clone that Tony Stark created to try and take down Cap's team, but the clone Thor accidentally kills one of Captain America's men, and I believe his name is John Foster, I think. And when he dies, everybody just stops fighting. They realize the bad thing that they did, so they just separate and go do their own stuff. So they start getting new recruits, like Iron Man starts inviting a few villains over to his team, and he tries fixing the Thor clone to make it not kill people anymore. Now, Reed Richards asks Black Panther if he wants to join his side, but Black Panther refuses because he wants to go off and marry Storm from X-Men. And, sorry about that scream. There are people upstairs who are talking, so... Anyways, So Spider-Man realizes the damage that's going on with Iron Man's team, and he decides to leave. And Tony Stark's very disappointed in him. So Iron Man and Spider-Man, they start fighting each other. Like, Spider-Man gets beaten, and Spider-Man ends up in a sewer where he's about to be killed by a few villains. But Frank Castle, the Punisher, shows up, and he rescues Spider-Man. And he brings him to Captain America's side, saying that he is joining their side. Now, so Captain America tries recruiting a few villains to his team, but the Punisher kills all of them because he doesn't find them any different than heroes. And Captain America gets mad with the Punisher and starts beating him up, but the Punisher doesn't do anything about it because he respects Captain America. And Captain America decides to break all the other heroes who got arrested out of the space prison, and they go there. And then Black Panther and Storm show up, and they decide to join Cap's team, and they let the heroes out. But they walk into a trap because Iron Man was waiting for them, and that's when Iron Man's team, they start fighting, and then someone activates the computer, which sends them back to Earth, and they continue the fight. And there's like Spider-Man swinging, Iron Man blasting, and there's like a bunch. The Thor clone is there, but Hercules, yes, Hercules is in this, lifts up Thor's hammer and he yells, "Thou art no Thor!" And he bashes it onto the Thor clone's head and kills it. And Namor of the Sea comes down and starts attacking. And then all the heroes are fighting and fighting until they're like beaten up. And then Captain America and Iron Man are like going head to head, like shield versus armor. And then Cap, he punches Iron Man a bunch of times in the face, and his mask all gets cracked up, and blood comes out, and Iron Man's all like, "Finish this." So Cap, he's about to take the final blow until a bunch of civilians come on and say, Stop this, Cap. Stop doing this. I'm helping you people. Helping us. Look at all the damage you're causing." Then he realizes the stuff he's been doing. So he takes off his masks and he says to the police officers, "You're not arresting Captain America. You're arresting Steve Rogers." And he gets arrested. So Tony Stark is promoted to be new director of S.H.I.E.L.D. And Captain America is taken into court. But after he leaves court, Crossbones is waiting on a building with a sniper. And he shoots Captain America right in the belly. And Captain America dies. Yes, they kill off Steve Rogers. It's a very shocking moment in the comic. It's very... It just pulls at your heartstring. Now, this comic, it's like one of the biggest stories ever told in the Marvel Universe. And if you're a first-timer of comics and this is the comic you decide to read, it really shows you who these characters are just by the sides they choose. You may know who Spider-Man is, but you might not know who She-Hulk or Doctor Strange or other people like that are, and you know just who they are by seeing the sides they're choosing and stuff. Now, a lot of people... This comic has received mixed reviews. Most people enjoy it, but there are some people who see it slightly flawed. Yes, I see the Civil War comic flawed, but I still enjoy this comic. It's very great, and it's a excellent comic. I think you should check it out. Despite a few flaws it has, it's still a pretty powerful comic, and I'm definitely looking forward to the movie that it's getting. Like, I've been looking forward to it for a while now. I've even reviewed a few movies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe leading up to it. So if you've read the Civil War comic, comment below what you thought about it, and I'll be here next week with my review for Captain America Civil War. I'll be going and seeing it in the theater. I will check you later.